All right, welcome to Raising Funds for World Domination, day number 206. So I'm going to switch back to the usual routine tonight. I took several days off from the usual stream setup, so now I can prove that I'm not AI. You see what I'm like outside, and it was nice to get out and stretch my legs. What are we doing today? Good question. Once again, I don't have. I spend most of my days working on other things, so I don't have a lot of. I don't actually put a lot of preparation into the streams. Yeah, I guess we'll go back to the usual. We'll do a status update. I haven't done that in a few days. I think it was the 9th was the last one that I did. Give me money now, please. I don't have any. Honey Fun says hello. How's it going? Yeah, might as well update on the rent eviction situation. So October 14th, wow, it's over a month ago now. So the verdict was in our favor, and they dismissed the N13s, so we can stay in our apartments. However, there was rumor that they were going to try, it's not surprising really, that they would try to appeal, and I have some indication that they are in fact going to appeal formally, but there's no case number or anything for that, so it's just a waiting game to get more information to see what exactly they're going to try and appeal and what grounds they have. I don't think they have a lot of grounds, so it's possible that the court may just like immediately dismiss it or something. But I guess in theory they could get it put back down to the tenant board and then litigate it for a ton more time, which would be kind of crazy because it's already been like, we already spent like 3 hearings talking about it. So the other thread was Shopify Store. The Google Merchant Center products are still disabled. I decided before I've only got one more appeal left. So I decided I might as well just look through some tutorials and stuff to figure out most of the common reasons. Try and improve the store. And I did that over the last couple of days ago. I made like an order status page, which I guess is that's felt upon favorably. Added like an about us page, so that exists. And then eventually, I'll probably shortly here I will do another review to make sure I'm not missing anything, because there's like a long list of checklist items that you have to do that are, I guess, apparently common reasons for being disabled, but Google never tells you why. So you just have to guess and try all of them. Yeah, so for that one marketing video that ended up being really long, I only released one. I decided to split it in 3 parts. One's released. I've actually been holding back on the other 2 parts. I figure I might as well just kind of milk them and space them out, because I think it gives me some more time to make other content, which I worked on a little bit today. That was November 9, was it? So next, I think I might just relax and do some low what do you call it? Low complexity refactoring changes. There's a list of things in the block mining game. I think the next, I guess, quote unquote feature I'll try to work toward. So adding new crafting recipes and blocks, that's easy now. Another significant step toward like I guess the road to multiplayer will be a few different milestones. So I kind of have all of that infrastructure already in place, but it's really not quite fleshed out. There's a few like major design flaws, just like cleanup and stuff. There's some issues with the UI and how events are passed around, and so I'm going to clean that up. And then probably one of the next things I'll work toward is get like a multi-world connection. I'll probably introduce, this doesn't exist yet, but I'll probably introduce like a world connection concept. And then all the frames will have an associated world connection. And then I'll probably use this for testing multiplayer. So I'll make it so you can launch the game and have like you can connect as multiple players, like a split screen. And then that will facilitate some of the early testing of the actual like server multiplayer stuff, because it ideally should go all through the same code pathways. But there's a bunch of stuff to get through before I get there. I finally understood the prototypical inheritance in JavaScript. Oh yeah, I vaguely remember that. That's one of those things that I learned a bit about, and then I forgot how all that works now. Yeah, I remember it being one of those things you always see in the debugger, but you have to like read up on it to understand how it works. Yoshi Kanga Kira says, "Hello world. How's it going? World domination? Yep. That's what the plan is. If you want to know the details on the world domination plan, I have a video in the link in the description where I go through all the details of my plan." Okay, so the game works. All right, that's the released version. So I remember that one of the issues was how events are propagated to the map area. Yeah, this is the year. guess this should not be necessary. Player inventory. Okay. So that's not necessary anymore. And now for the map area, I need basically the same thing. And actually, once all that is made similar, then I could basically collapse this. I could like remove all those if statements because the behavior would be the same. DRAM prices going out of hand. Must be all that money that they're pouring into AI now. And prices might go up too. I guess it's it probably all occupies the same fab space. Yeah, it's been a while since I thought about it, but I think the, like when you look at the like every process node is different, but I think the only major difference between like RAM and ROM, temporary storage and permanent storage, is they just have like there's like an extra capacitor or something that exists in the circuit. They're pretty physically similar in terms of lithography. We're back to the ASMR programming. Yep. Actually, from last night, the wind was pretty bad, which I guess is not surprising. I just don't have that at the moment. I don't have the audio gear to make that work. I googled for a couple of minutes today to see like what kind of solution, if I was to get a microphone. I think there is one that'll work with that, where I could put an external wind muff on it. It has to be a USB-C microphone. But I'll maybe look at other options, because at least one of them I saw someone said it worked, and then it worked for like a couple of months, and then the stupid software updated, and they said it stopped working. Like one of those come study with me channels. It's now a come hack on some Java. Yeah, hack on some Java, go for a walk. Who is this? It's me. Same person that I always was. Okay, let's figure out. So one of my goals is basically like to eliminate this here. So that there is another thing to eliminate. It's possible that there is kind of quiet meditation quality to your coding. How you calm yourself, allow your chakras to align. Is it possible? I don't know. I suppose it's possible. I don't. Chakras are not something that I think about very often. I guess at this point it's more of a force of habit than anything else. So the model of moving toward is basically making it so any user interface frames effectively subscribe to the client block model context class. And I guess when I have multiple world connections, I'll probably have multiple client block model context classes. And then every frame that wants a piece of information about what's going on in the game will basically subscribe through this mechanism. Good quality sleep helps. To align chakras. basically all about chakra alignment while in the zone. The Java code is merely a kind of meditative locus. I'll take your word for it. Imagine having seg faults in your brain. In the future, we will. When the government mandates that everyone put a microchip in your brain to make sure you don't think the wrong thoughts. What are your dietary guidelines for fitness? Are you vegetarian? What'd you eat today? What I ate today was buttered chicken and actually that's what I had for both meals. I eat a lot of candy. Honestly, I'm not, my diet is not really anything to try and emulate. Candy and buttered chicken is an awesome diet. Yeah, I guess maybe that's why my chakras are so aligned. Eat poutine every day. That's too many calories. What kind of candy do you eat? Depends. Honestly, the dollar store candy has been pretty good the last few years. Speaker's broken. It's too bad. Coding is epic. It is indeed. Actually, I need other types of threads to be able to subscribe to this. Man, this code is so crazy. Dollarama or Dollar Tree? I don't know what it's called now. It used to be called the Dollar Store, but then inflation happened, and now everything is a lot more than $1. Let's see. I think that this candy's called like Reason or Ricin. Probably not Ricin. Reason candies that have like chocolate and like a toffee inside of them. Website is like Starburst, Reese's Cups. Yeah, look, there's a pretty good variety of candy. You know what? These events are crazier than I thought they were. They're very much overdue for an update. This will allow me to delete some classes. I think they're pronounced Reesin. It's like a chocolate covered candy. Probably not ricin. That's not good for you. Being a homeowner changed me. I'd imagine it would. Now you have a place to live. Creative freedom, highly recommend. Buy your next place in Clash. Race me to 100K. Alright, you're on. The race has started. The thing about if you own your own place, though, if you have like a repair, it's possible just to like, you can just like put up with it. So in a way, if you own your own place, doing repairs is kind of optional. Like if you have a roof leak, technically you can defer expenses, but if you like have a condo or something, they'll just come to you and be like, all right, everybody give $50,000. And I think that's becoming a problem where they basically use that to extort people. They're like, all right, we need gotta hire a landscaping company now. Everybody give us a ton of money. And then the landscaping company is owned by the same private equity firm as the condo. Stork Riesen candies. Yeah, I remember it was like, that's why I almost pronounced it ricin. It must be reason. Dark chocolate on the outside, rich chocolate caramel on the inside. A particularly long-lasting chewing treat. Chewy treat. The imitable, intensely chocolatey taste is due to a special blend of selected Gavoa. Think and Grow Rich method versus the $sign Roberts method. Yep. Which is the most profitable way to make money? Is it a block mining simulation game? Or is it buying a house? Yeah, I don't know. The trend, the way the trend is going, I think things are going to benefit anyone who owns any kind of asset and has control over it. But I've got an escape plan. And the way things are going in the cities just seem to be, I don't know, increasingly insanely run. So I may have to rethink my approach. Because so it's the map area that actually first changes the state, and then that gets sent back to the client block model context. I guess this can still work. Doing home cybernetics right now. Robots, LLM on my GPU. It's all basic arithmetic problems. Nice. You can rethink and see cities. Or you can just acclimate to the insanity, grow to your love. Love it for what it is. I don't know, there's increasingly a lot of policies in cities then, like the main issues that I'm talking about there are like up here in Canada, and it's also happening in the US too. There's the pressure is just to like squeeze more money out of people, like the companies that own condos and that own rental units, like homeowners associations, the insurance companies, and there's like they say, inflation is going up, but there's also there's the introduction of new. Like one way that inflation is being hidden is certain things that did not cost money now also cost money, and those are also accelerating. So like the distinct number of ways that money is taken from you just keeps going up, and the amount goes up too. And there's all kinds of like issues where people move into places and repairs are done incorrectly, and There was someone bought a condo somewhere in Toronto. There's like a news thing about this, and they had like a friend over for like the evening or something. Yeah, like this is just, this is a fairly normal, like working professional woman had a friend over, and then the condo company fined her and said, it's like, you can't have guests for over like a couple of days or something, or based, you breached your contract, so we're going to fine you some money. And then they like are suing, and just this like scorched earth. I mean, it's just insanity. Like, you can't, it's the kind of thing that makes you feel not even safe to live in your building. Lived in NYC and DC and love them. Now we're buying $18,000 house, with huge 125-year floor beams. Really changed you. Change me. Yeah, it does sound pretty cool. And based on what you described, it sounds like a fixer-upper. So you can, either way, you can invest some time in just like improving stuff. And then you sell it, make a whole bunch of money. Wronged says, Die says, I see all. That's good. It's important to be able to see things and have good vision. Basic occupancy clause to prevent subletting and so on. That's not what happened in this case. It was like a pretty egregious. Like, she had a friend over for like a couple hours, or I think it was actually like her friend. They said her friend was loud in the hallway or something, but it's not like a party animal person. It's just like some like woman who lives there. No intention to sell. Want to raise value of the city. Yeah, that's the thing about owning. You can decide. Why the help others buy homes here? Yeah, that's the thing about owning. You get to decide what happens. I came from the CPU video. Excellent. That's my most popular video. This here is my stream where I talk to chat, get distracted, work on my block mining simulation game. way to make money. Here's to revive city like DC did theirs. Revive the city. That's quite a bit of work, though. That's a bit more than one person can do. Secrets of making CPUs are often discussed here. That's true. Okay, that might do what I want, at least for the getting the initial state. Actually, pretty well enforced here. My analogy is to NYC is more about the ends than the means. It would take one person about 100 customers. One person and about 100 customers, maybe 1,000. Network effects, you just gotta know what people love about a location. I guess you mean to get like a critical mass of people to buy homes in the area and like gentrify them. Maybe, I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. We will live on individual properties in age or shared building space. That's a good question. I guess it depends all on economics. Ideally, there would be both, and you could people could make their own decisions. I think it would be heating would be a major issue in Axel-Heiberg because it's so cold there. It's so dark all the time. Company towns in Levitt towns. I've heard of company towns, but Levitt towns, I'm not familiar with that term. Orphaned default. Heat management easier and shared building space. Yeah, that's true. I guess there may be, it could make sense to have like, technically, individual space. Like if you had a pretty elaborate cave system, then you could have like, quite a bit of privacy and stuff. Massive subdivisions that were built in the 50s. With one manufacturer basically creating new towns from scratch. You could renovate an entire city in that model. Yeah, there's a lot of aspects of. There's so many things that we do now that are just really inefficient. I think we know how to fix these problems. We just don't want to, because it's way more profitable to extract money from people and like fine people for crazy things and have homeowners associations. It's more profitable to just win, just make a product 100x better than the competition. In theory, but for housing, how do you do that though? I do think there is kind of like there is a higher order effect on capitalism, where like even if you have a city that's like so morally bankrupt and like bad and has bad policies, and you allow exploitative capitalism, then eventually people will leave that place, and the most productive people will not be there, and then the tax base will suffer. Smart homes? I mean, for making it 100x better? I don't know. Honestly, I don't like the idea of having a smart home. If I had the choice between a smart home and a not smart home, I'd probably go with like everything manual. Maybe not necessarily like, it's not the smartness that's bad, it's the control and lack of control. Yeah, I'd say it's just I think any realistic vision of smart homes is going to involve like some corporate headquarters spying on everything you're doing, and then they'll put something in it that's like every time you touch the thermostat, a person will like yell at you over the intercom and be like, "Hey, do you know you're hurting the planet by turning that thermostat up?" And you have to pay $9.99 a month to turn off the person that yells at you when you try to touch the thermostat in your own home. Open source smart home, fully local. Yeah, I'd support that. But we need a lot more buy-in. I think the percentage of the population that would fully take advantage of that is pretty low at the moment. The Etern says, "Let's go." Okay, that didn't break anything. That's good. So I think I can delete one of those messages, or one of those dependencies in the console writer thread. I prefer people not have discussions about substance use. If off the time people out, if I let people talk about that, then it'll attract other people that want to talk about that all the time. That's not a topic that interests me at all. You could talk about coffee, caffeine. Hello, sir. Is this Java? This is indeed Java. Let's see, is this used by anything else? My mudra Granti has been untied, and I can push consciousness out to my crown chakra. That is a very advanced thing that I have no knowledge of. What time is it in your country? It is 2300 hours, so 11:04 p.m. So I guess this would be that's where I need to send an event. Do you feel that Robert's Java coding is like mandala and will help him unlock his chakras? Sorry, Robert, I got bad vibes when typing it about substances here. Yeah, let's keep it on good vibes. A guru of mine made a lot of money meditating and writing insurance software in the 80s. That's a long time ago. for software development. 9:30 a.m. in India. Nice, you're just getting started. And it's almost my bedtime here. Not Robert B.R. Guru is using Java code as a mandala for us to align our chakras. You think too highly of me. I don't even know what you're talking about. Got my guru's advice just in time. Job at AWS was trippy. Yeah, a lot of people burn out of working at Amazon. That's why so many people leave so many of their stock options on the table. So see on map area notify. Now will this compile? And will it work? Nope, don't work. Bro, what are you building? I am building a terminal-based video game where you can simulate the process of mining blocks of iron ore and other minerals. Became really good at reading Social signals in context, so I can see everyone's subtext, fears, joys, motivations, etc. That's really hard, though. Sometimes there's, if you look hard enough for information, sometimes you can just see noise. Amazon seems like the most Kafkaesque company to work for. From what I've heard, I think there's other teams that are not quite as bad as the one I was on, but is it a terminal-based game? It is indeed. Life without meditative awareness is like autism. I don't know. I don't have any insights on that. More about not looking at all? Oh, just going on like instinct? Okay, that totally broke the map area. Maybe it's not actually getting the updates. Oh, maybe it's not getting the signal. Jeff wants to turn you into bug. Maybe. That's crazy. That's more broken than I would have expected. Interesting. Hard to explain, more like operating on a lot of experience. Think about what you feel under the code in your head when you program. I don't know, it sounds to me like you're just talking about like instinct, intuition. So there's a couple things that's weird. It seems like it's not getting a position, so it's not writing the map area, but it also, there's a weird like drawing error, which it should isolate the bugginess to this frame, but that is not happening. You have merch now? I've had merch for multiple years, at least 3 or 4 years now, but nobody buys it. But now I'm trying to more aggressively advertise it. Intuition is a good word. Instinct has a specific animal context, whereas intuition is about abstractions. Yeah, I guess it sounds like you're talking a bit more about experience, like the component of experience, learned experience, which intuition probably matches what you're saying better. Do you have a design doc for the terminal block mining game so we can follow along? The patch of feature development. I did. I have one video where I said called like why build a terminal based video game. I have talked about it before on some streams and stuff, but I don't really want to talk too much about ideas because it's so much easier to have ideas, but the time to actually implement stuff, it just takes so long. And some of it is just, I actually kind of change what I prioritize based on, like I'm probably going to add new block types for sale. And then depending on what people actually buy, like I might actually add like a block that represents water. And if people buy that, then I'll implement features of the game that involve that more. And then as people ask for things and suggest things, then I'll focus on that. But again, it takes a lot of time to develop. Experience without conscientiousness to record it isn't super useful for intuition. I guess. Will block miners need to pay rent for their ore storage? I wasn't thinking about that, but that's a good idea. If so, can we buy storage facilities and renovate current occupying miners? That's a great idea. Yeah, I like that idea. Once I get the bugs out and get some of this insanity with how events are passed around fixed. Let's see. So we deleted this notification class. That's going to be replaced by this mechanism. Oh, maybe we should look at the map area. Oh yeah, so I'm not calling this, which is Robert, can I gift you a crypto coin server? You can spin up to run the game, run the in-game currency. No, I'm not gonna have. I'm gonna stay away from any kind of blockchain nonsense. I guess I don't know. Yeah, I probably won't have any kind of in-game currency thing at all. I thought about that idea years ago, and then I eventually convinced myself it doesn't make sense. I think anything where you try to create your own currency, like creating your own currency, is such a tempting idea. Because if you have your own currency, you can just print more of it and then do like rug pulls and stuff. But because of that, there's so much like regulation and stuff. I think it's inevitable that it'll get compromised, or you'll get sued, or the government will come after you. Rug pull a lot of money. Could I? I could just sell merch, and then I can actually deliver value in products and services. My game don't work. Let's see. This was okay. So in the init method, I cannot just set this directly. That's what it needs. Just post slowly. That's always the plan. Sell merch with block mining simulation coin. You could literally just sell the coin as a novelty. Like silicon chips, no promise of value. Yeah, but I could just like if people want to buy my scam. Like anyone, so there's 12 people here. So anyone who wants to buy the scam, just go to shopify.robertelder.org right now, and you can get scammed with real merchant, and you get real merchandise as a bonus. It still doesn't work. Rats. Now what do I do? It's not a rug pull if you're giving your fans sentimental coin. Yeah, but I already have the infrastructure for a sentimental coin. It's a silicon chip. Collect all 5. Is there a coupon for the scam? There is not at this time. Robert has rejected a crypto scam approach already. I would so I would be okay with like maybe buying a whole bunch, like if I could buy like 10,000 t-shirts for 99 cents and then sell them for like $30 plus $10 shipping or something. I would consider maybe doing that as like a one-time thing, as long as people if people want to just like buy a crappy t-shirt and then they actually get some t-shirt, but then it like wears out almost immediately. I would do that as like a one-time thing, and then kind of get kind of a bad reputation for that if it made $1 million. But as it is, if I tried that today, if I tried selling like crappy t-shirts, no one would buy them, and then like I would sell one, and then the person would be like, hey, this is terrible, I'm disappointed, and it wouldn't be worth it. I'm not saying chips are a scam, just that their primary purpose as a product in your store isn't to operate as a chip. I would not have expected anyone to actually use them. I consider them just a like an interesting novelty. I figure if 17 million people are willing to watch a video about how to make a CPU, then I'm sure some people would be interested in just seeing an actual chip, because most people never see one. Crypto is a technology, isn't a scam. That's true, but I think the primary useful applications for it are for like mostly things that benefit governments and law enforcement. was hoping to actually make some tangible progress, but I might not tonight if I can't figure this propagation issue out. Because that's what I want. Nope, it's not working. Collecting rugs like a medieval peasant. Oh, by pulling rugs? Yes, but also real rugs. If I had space, I'd collect some rugs. I am a fan of rugs. Like those big ones you can put on your wall. I wouldn't mind having some of them. That'd probably be I was thinking that'd be a good way to treat a sound treater room as well. Just buy a big rug instead of buying those like weird shaped things. I'm not sure if it'd be a big difference if you really get that much more sound reduction with the weird foam things. I'd assume a rug would also do a pretty good job, but it's also would probably cost less and like not screw up your wall. Are you making a CPU from scratch, bro? Not today. I already did that. In toupees? I'm not a fan of those. Okay, let's see what's going on here. In the client, maybe I'm not subscribing to events. So I am subscribing. Full of Norwood. Neighbors too loud. I've been bugging my walls. Rugging. Oh. Yeah, I think sound treating is like I never really thought much about like how sound affects you psychologically and stuff. Because like a lot of natural environments, your brain filters out sounds, or like it filters out like audio effects, like echoes and stuff in a room with echoes. But after doing like audio recording a lot, I've come to realize how many like artifacts that are present, sound artifacts that are present in the environment, are actually like perceptible, but you don't really consciously think about them. Then you have to take the rug down and vacuum it, or vacuum the wall. That's only if you step on it. Okay, when the player position is loaded, we do on player position change notify. Oh, you know what might be happening? Oh no, if it's late, it should still get that information. Something wrong with my enum, maybe. So this handles it if it's an update. And if it's in the init method, it's also handled. Let's see, how is that handled before? Just as I expected. Oh yeah, am I sending the init method? I changed it so when a thread starts, it's supposed to, the first message that the thread starts is supposed to be an init, a message telling it to run its own init method within its own thread context. And that was in console writer thread state. Oh, look at that, not doing it. This is absolutely a problem. Hopefully, it is the problem. This might be progress. My vision is augmented. Excellent. It's very important to have good vision. Let's play with pixels, says Hio. How's it going? Oh, it's still broke. It's going pretty good. I think I'm about to make progress. Oh no. $283. Good luck. I'm gonna go now. Way too late. Have a good night. Oh man, so close. $5.75. Oh boy. Oh boy. It works again. Nice. If I close and I open map area, hooray. It actually works. Let's do that again. Close frame. Close frame. Close frame. Open. Open map area. Alright, that's working just the way it's supposed to. And I was able to delete one of those pesky classes. Okay, that was a little bit of progress. Yeah, probably, I guess I've gone this long. I might as well continue with my daily couple-hour live streaming. I will probably continue this for the next little while. I don't really have a lot of other content planned for live streaming. I guess I could think about getting looking to if I can get a decent cheap mic for doing the walking live streams. I wouldn't mind doing one of those every once in a while, just to substitute. Like, I just go for a walk anyway. If I can get a mic that doesn't have really bad wind audio for relatively cheap. For the block mining development, there's a few just like rat's nests that I want to kind of untangle with how events are propagated around. I think I'm going to try and centralize like the game state, the game world state in the client block model context class. And then other classes will, the other UI frames will talk to that class to get information. And right now they're kind of it's a huge mess how the events propagate around. So I'll try to untangle that first, because that's a prerequisite for being able to have like multiple player objects connected to the same world, and actually get that propagated out. So yeah, that's what I'll continue working on for the next streams. But till then, I guess we'll call it a night, and we'll be back tomorrow night. Later.